Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'll be reviewing my final round game for the 2020 Midwest Open. If you did not see the last game, I kind of got destroyed against my 6-down opponent. So that put my record at 2-1. So in the final round I'm playing Justin Johnson, 3-down, who I believe was also 2-1 at this point in the tournament. And we actually were told to do nigiri, so that's how I ended up with black, and he got white. It's very strange for me because most tournaments in Ohio, I end up playing white because I just happen to be one of the strongest players in Ohio, and we don't get that many out-of-state people. So it was actually 3 out of my 4 games at this tournament I was able to play black, which was new and exciting, I should say. But yeah, let's get into the game. I will say, since I did not play anywhere near as well as I wanted to in my 3rd round game, I was definitely trying to play as strongly as possible, try to read everything out, and nothing lazy. So let's see how I did. So like already off the bat, I invade the 3-3 immediately. It's interesting, if in a pro game I see them play here immediately, but if white were to play here in a pro game, I've never seen a pro immediately approach this or invade this corner. So I'm not really sure why. My only guess is when it's like this, because it's a symmetrical position, there's no direction that's better for white. Whereas when you go here, depending on what white wants to do, like white there's an obvious direction here to make black flat on the top side, right? And then white would be able to get the left side. But when it's here and it's a symmetrical position, yeah, I think that's why I think pros and even AIs will invade the 3-3. So again, doesn't matter which way white blocks, white extends and does a very simple variation. White takes the corner, and believe it or not, I was considering invading the 3-3 again. Because if white adds a move, and I get to add a move on this side, you can see all of white's stones are on one side of the board. And I'm confident in my abilities to invade or at least reduce that left side. So I was considering invading again. But I figured this is fine too. And you can see I even back off here as opposed to taking the empty corner. Again, I'm not that I am inviting white to take the empty corner, because white can play anywhere. But if white were to take an empty corner, I'm gonna try to build the right side, and white does. And of course I approach, he attaches, and then like this. So far it's actually pretty even. I have the bottom left corner, white has the bottom right corner. We both have side influences, or side moyos, that are in development. And like in the past, it was considered normal to just finish this Joseki here. But because I already have the stone at R14, and if I hadn't played at R14, that's where I would play now, after white played O3. So I'm actually very happy I was able to get this variation, because I knew I could play elsewhere. So I split the left side. Yeah, spacing wise, I think it's the best spot. I'm not sure though. It kind of invites white to go here because it's a perfect extension. But even if white does either this move or this move, but either way, white's side influence has gotten pretty flat, so I was okay with this. And white definitely doesn't want to play from this side. If I could play a little closer, and when white extends, it leaves a weakness here, but I'm closer to white's wall. So I just decided to play here. this one is definitely wrong because when white pincers, in this case white could pincer here because the spacing is actually pretty good. My side extension isn't great, right? If I just do this, like it's very cramped. So I think this is the best spot. Oops. And white does something interesting. Like I was expecting white to go here and I would decide what to do. Again, the game was a few weeks ago now, so I'm not sure if I was going to go there or here. But white didn't do that. White actually haunted and played this variation. Which, I'm not sure about this variation in this case, because white cuts, I take... When it looks like this, you can ask anybody, and anybody would say that the bottom is very unimportant. We both have low positions on the bottom side. The left side and the right side, and potentially the top side, are very important sides. But when white chooses this variation, you can see white is trying to make points on the bottom, but it's not worth too much, I think. So yeah, and even if I just did something like this, you can see my stone here, D9, is at the perfect spot now. And yeah, and just for example, you can see how uninteresting the bottom is, right? Especially when black is able to build the right side while reducing the bottom. So I think this is wrong direction for white. I would try to do something like this, because these stones are pretty strong. So even if black gets a pincer, right, there's not really a danger for white. Yeah, even after this, white could play elsewhere. Play something on the top. So, yeah, I was actually pretty happy that white chose this variation. And if you saw my last game, I played a joseki that I was not very familiar with in the last game, and that got me in a ton of trouble. So I told myself for this game, okay, make sure you play josekis that you understand and you know all the variations for. So like right now, I should just come up and then, or do the jump. If white jumps, I have sente. Easy peasy. I can play wherever I want, right? I can jump maybe dive, maybe fix the corner. Doesn't matter. Do something. Maybe play this kind of move. But in the game, I don't know what got to me, because I, excuse me, I did exactly what I said I wouldn't do, is I played this variation. Which is a joseki move, don't get me wrong, but I don't know all the variations. So I don't know what got into me this tournament of playing josekis I don't know, but I was just looking at it, and this looked like it was decent for me, especially with the stone at D9. And that's what I know, some variations if the stone at D9 isn't there, but by itself, no, not really. So white has to cut, and then black extends. And so this is the first move. It has to be. And then white Ataris. I actually wonder, what could I have done this? Yeah, I might have been able to do this because of this stone here. Yeah, so I think we played in. So, see, I don't even know what the joseki is. Is white supposed to go here? Somebody let me know. Is this the joseki move? Or is it just because of this stone here? Black could have done this. Because it doesn't look good for white. If white dives, black can come down like that. And there's nothing white can do on the outside to capture black. So, what? Why did I not do that? Again, the joseki move, I believe, is to go here. But with D9 there, I think black can play something different. Yeah, why couldn't I have just done this? Oh, is it because of this move? No, because black can just... Oh, man. I really don't know my Josekis though. I gotta study this one up. Yeah, I just played the move that I see in pro games, right? But I could have taken my advantage, and I get a decent result out of this regardless. But I could have gotten a much better result. White needs this move is pretty imperative. Maybe White could have made this exchange first, or made an exchange on this side first. But maybe it's avenge. I'm not sure. The reason why this is imperative is this move is actually sente for black. Let's just say white does whatever. This move actually kills white. Yeah. If white comes down, black hanes. And you can see, yeah, white's actually unable to make an eye on this side. Come this way. So this move is very big. So that's why I played it now, and white kind of needs to answer. But I play here. And then I think white has many choices here. It's either this move or this move probably. But regardless of where white plays, my next move is going to be here. Now this move is good because if I play on this side, white's actually looking at this attachment. And this wouldn't be good for black. So yeah, if cut. If black goes here, white can actually Atari like this and then extend, and you can see the corner dies. So this move is preparing this attachment. I just don't like it because after this, black plays here. Its white shape isn't that good. White does play a pretty nice move here. But I figured this was a decent result already for black. I've solidified my left side and I get sente, so I didn't want to pull these stones after immediately. I maybe could have, but like if I extended, and then yeah, maybe I could have, but my shape doesn't feel that good. But white shape isn't good either, so maybe it'd be an eye for an eye, you know. Yeah, I think this move's good. This move just seems a little too simple, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe. But regardless, you can see white doesn't have a lot of liberty, so white needs to do something. So, but I left it for now. Kind of leave it for white's problem later. I dive into the corner, and then I attach. So this is something I see in fine arts games a lot. It's trying to over concentrate the opponent in the corner. If white stands up, I would hane and then just back off. And you can see white is very over concentrated. Yeah. If white hanes and connects, again, sente. If white ignores, which white did in the game and went here, I've made points on the left side and I can play this move later. If white hanes though, the key move here is to hane on top. Even if white ataris, you can kind of see black is able to get a pretty nice framework on the top, playing this way. So because white wants to attack the top, that's why white chose this variation. And then pincer. Now if you're going to leave these two stones here and let your opponent pincer at h17, you have to know this is the shape point. Yeah, this is just, you need to know this. Basically, white needs to play here, and then black plays here. And even though the shape looks really bad, it's really bad for both players, so it's decent for black. So it's actually, these stones are very flexible, so that's why you're able to leave these stones. I see a lot of people, I don't even know what people do, just jump, but this would just make your stones heavy. So play this spot. And again, white really, this is white's really only move. You can see black's actually pretty flexible here, despite black's pretty bad shape. But in the game, white went here. So this it has to be a thank you move, I feel. Even just making these exchanges first. Yeah, it just feels like white has to do it that way. Maybe black does this into cap, something. Playing here though, I just get a Hane. And this is, again, treating my stones lightly. White can Atari here, but you can see if white comes down, I can still come down. Yeah, and it's pretty painful for white. I could just pincer probably. But yeah, you can see wouldn't be good for white. So white has to extend, but you can see, remember all the way back here, my goal was to over-concentrate white, where you can really see how white's getting over-concentrated here. And I get this move, which makes my shape perfect, and it's Sente. And now I play probably a funny looking move, but I felt like it was the best move, because if I extend up, I did not like this, because if white were to Hane, it gives white good shape. And when you play moves, you generally don't want to give your opponent good shape. And then so I was thinking, there's obvious this peep here at G16. And if I do anything else, white's going to peep and then jump. So I need to do something to prevent this. And I didn't want to touch the stone, right? I didn't want to go here. Even though it protects there, it would help white more, right? It would make white very strong. So that's how I decided on this move. Again, I don't know if it's good, but it feels like a pretty good move. White extends, and then I counter extend, and white jumps. So white is flexible on the top, but white is not alive on the top for sure. Again, it has many, excuse me, it has many, what's the word? It's very flexible, I guess. It has a lot of chances to live and to run out. So it's definitely not a weak group, but it's a target potentially later. So that's why now I use Yaji here. Yeah, white would like to go here, but I'm not sure this works. Can black do this directly? Yeah, I think so. Atari, 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 Atari. You can see it's a loose ladder. White dies. So, because white doesn't have a lot of liberties, white can't play this kind of aggressive move. So white just backs up, or stands up, and then I extend. Extend, extend, Hane, Atari, and then Hane back. And then extend, and then jump up. So what I'm thinking right now, if you were wondering, is I'm looking at this group and I'm looking at this top group, and I'm kind of saying, okay, white has this bottom, which is about equal to black's left side. Maybe white's a little bigger, but regardless, this bottom is a little bigger than this. But white's only points beyond that is this upper left group, and white has Komi. So what I'm thinking is, okay, I'm going to attack this center group in the bottom left and attack this upper group. And in doing so, I'm going to be able to build the right side. So that's what I'm thinking. Because again, you need to have game plans when you play. So you can't just, you know, do things blind. You got to have a plan up your sleeve at all times. Notice I can jump here because if white wants to take this stone, it wouldn't be worth a lot, and it would just solidify black. If white goes here, you can see white is actually unable to go there, because black can capture. So that's why I'm able to jump up, and white plays a very solid move. Extend, and then white comes here. So right now, this is when I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I want. Remember how I was talking about how I can attack the left group, the lower left group, the upper group, and the right side group? Or those two groups, and now I can attack this right side group. And this move in and of itself is not a good spot because it's not forceful. There's no follow-ups, direct follow-ups. White should play a move like this. This would more prompt a black response. Plus, I would consider black pretty strong here. So white's playing towards black's thickness here. So white definitely needs to lean on this side. Maybe white wanted to preserve some Aji in the upper side, but playing this way, it's just white has no follow-ups. That's the issue. White could also think about playing a move like this, but maybe he thinks it's too slow if black just plays up like this. But again, it's definitely hard for white because these groups here are not going to make a lot of points is the issue. Yeah. I think it's pretty even up until black gets very solid in the upper left. Then black could take control of the game. So white just plays down on the side. Also, white didn't want to play low, and I'm not sure why. Low is probably better. I'm not sure. I would think about playing low. Peep. Again, just see how white answers. White plays here. Connect. Then I turn. Again, trying to indirectly attack these stones. Play here. Again, these moves are also building the left side as well. So black's left side is actually bigger now. White plays here and then jump. And you can see white is living, but white is getting not a lot of points. So remember, when you're attacking, you don't want to attack to kill. Never get bloodthirsty. Just attack for profit. You can see black is getting profit on the left side and on the right side, right? Black is getting some stones here, which are going to help attack this stone. And white is not making many points himself. So, yeah. This is what you want from the attack. So I pincer. I actually did not know where to play here. I think this move's good. But you can see because these stones are so far away, it's hard for white to connect in one move. So white plays here. I hane. And then I come up here. Again, maybe this is a little crazy, but I was feeling confident. I'm trying to just looking for some Aji here to, if I can get some stones in this kind of area right here, then I would be able to attack these two stones. White hanes, and then I cut. And now white has a choice. Now, I was thinking white would just come up here. And then I would extend, and maybe white goes here. And now I have some stones in this area, so then I would be able to attack these stones better because of these stones here. Yeah. But in the game, what does white do? Yeah, white extends here, which I was very happy about. Oh yeah, if I go here, it might look like I would be able to maybe play this one once. Or maybe that. But white is actually super solid here. But you know, this isn't so bad because if white ignores, I can go here. So yeah, maybe white should just take. Black needs to go here and then this sort of thing. White's actually pretty much alive already. And you can see that this, it's not a true opponent key, but it's gonna help connect these stones. So this is actually the important stone. And again, I'm not getting crazy trying to, oh, can I kill this group? My goal is set on these stones. So I just extend up. But white pulls back, so I'm like, okay, I'll capture. And then white plays here. This is actually a very good move. If black tries to refute this, you can see white's able to squeeze and then cut. And white would be alive. And actually, because of this cut, white could view living on the top and this cut is Miai, so white would actually be able to come back here. Alright, if black goes there, white can cut. If black fixes, somehow white could probably connect, and that's alive. So, yeah, this wouldn't be so good. If I do this kind of move, it looks like I'm able to cut white off. like this. But it's kind of a similar situation. Oops, this one. Yeah, it's very similar because I'm not alive on the left side now, and I have very few liberties in this on the center group. So yeah, so in the game I just take, again, my goal wasn't to kill the top, it was just to get some thickness on this in the center. So white connects, and because I haven't made any exchanges here, black is actually alive up top. So let's say I were to cover. If white tries to cut through, I can Hane, and then even just go there. Or maybe this one is better. Yeah, you can see black has Miai. Black can make an eye here or on the top. Wait, actually, is black alive? Wait a minute. Black was here. Oh, this moves Sente, isn't it? Yeah. White can cut there, but black can cut off at the top. Yeah, so black is alive. Okay. Right, let me just... For me and for anybody watching, I'll just read it out. Yeah, black's alive. White needs to go there, but then black can turn and then go there. Okay. Hopefully I would have saw that during my game, but I was pretty sure black was alive. And if white takes the eye, black's, oops. If white takes the eyes on the top, black's able to actually connect with this double tiger's mouth. In the game though, again, I have my thickness, so how can I attack these? And I wasn't actually sure what the best move was to attack these. So I went with this one. I'm not sure though. This is a tricky scenario. I could do something a little simple like this, but it feels pretty difficult to kill white after this move. But again, maybe I don't need to kill white. Or even letting white off the hook a little bit. Maybe that's fine in order to win the game. But I went with this one. White came down, of course prevent the connection, and then white jumps. Play here now. This is good timing to see how white answers. And white does Hane here, so I'm able to get these forcing moves, and then Atari, and then jump. So white is actually not... White is pretty light here, but white is definitely inside of black's area. But if you kind of look at these black stones, these stones are not doing super great either. So both players need to keep that in mind, that black is not alive if black gets cut off. And because black jumped in the center here with all these knights moves, you know, these moves, knights moves can be cut. So always remember that. So maybe I should have been a little, at least with this one, like attach instead, because this shape is much better. But yeah. Jump, and then white attaches. I extend, and then jump, of course. White wedges to create some Aji, and then I go here. So this leaves Aji in the corner, but I know white doesn't have time to play in the corner. So that's why I'm able to play here. Like there's Aji with this clamp is what I'm talking about. But again, white doesn't have time to do that. If I connect like this, white's able to play here, which gets white an eye, which is pretty important, especially when black isn't alive here. So that's why I played here. It looks funny, but I think it's the best move. Then white jumps, looking at the cut here. But again, black's not alive here. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, all these exchanges, I have actually solidified my top side, my upper right, so I'll just clamp. So this is kind of like these stones is way out. And if white were to try to prevent black from connecting, I would be able to then peep here. This was the plan. Yeah, and if white just connected, I would be able to connect. So I clamped. What if white doesn't answer? White just goes straight for the cut here. So I extend up. So I extend up because I showed this move, and later white would be able to cut me off. And since this move is a peeping move against here, you can see it prevents that capability of white cutting me off, but threatening to cut through here. If white connects, peep, and then cut. Yeah, it might be a little risky for white. There's no way for white to capture this stone here. Because white has to do something about these two stones. So even if white does something like this and I protect, white would be able to cut off these stones here on the bottom, but the right side's much bigger than this side, because this is also gote. So black could go to the top or do whatever. Can white actually cut by? No, white. Wait, can white go here? Oh, white might be able to go here actually. Connect. White connects, black can go here. Yeah, white would be able to do this. So yeah, black would be dead this way. So this way would actually be, black would go here. Ooh, it would be a Sente connection for white. Wow, so that'd be pretty good actually. What if black just plays this directly? Maybe black goes here directly, because now if white goes here, black's able to extend. Yeah, this is much better. So yeah, this would be better. But you can see he thought he didn't have time to do this. So maybe that means I could have just gone here directly, but again, I admittedly didn't count super accurately, but I just kind of had a feeling, and I was like, oh, okay, this would be good enough. But white was able to, white had the chance to maybe connect here, or maybe first play some sort of move like this to try to protect Incente. But in the game, where does white go? Oh, white peeped here. This is good timing actually, because of course black's going to protect now if black's threatening to cut these off. But white just clamps, captures this stone, and I just take the stone here. And at this point, my opponent actually resigns. Yeah. And you might be wondering, is there any sort of Aji here? Actually, looks like there is, isn't there? Because it looks like there's a ladder here, but because white can capture these, it doesn't work. Probably go here. Black would be able to capture the left side, or the right side, but white would be able to capture the bottom. I'm not sure. Can white actually attach here? Is there any move black can play to prevent that? Huh. This is actually pretty interesting, isn't it? Stay here. I did not see this when I was reviewing. I think black can go here, though. Goes there. Black connects now. Yeah, it looks like white might be fine, actually. Huh. White could have cut this bottom off, I think. So I should just peep first. And that solves everything. Just peep first, and then go here. Now there's no issue there. But I didn't do that. So I think white could have gone here. And it would maybe still be a close game if I gave these up and took the entire right side. But it would give white Sente. And it might be a close game, actually. So maybe I was kind of surprised he resigned here, because there was so many more options. I thought the upper right was still unsettled. And the center is unsettled. So I thought he might try something to cut, but alas, he did not. Is there really nothing here? Now this is gonna bother me now. What if I do that one? White comes up, cut. Then I can go here. Oops. If I go here, white can go there once. And we do this sort of thing. But that would be a dead shape. Yeah, I think white can just cut black. Yeah, because I didn't make this peep exchange. Wow, okay. Yeah, I just needed to go here. This probably solves any issue in the center. So I definitely should have done that first. But I did not. And white could have cut. I believe. Oh, I hope I'm not misreading. If I am misreading and you see a variation, please let me know, actually, because I am actually pretty curious. But yeah, at this point, right here, my opponent resigned. We actually spent a long time on this game. We were the last game in the strong players room to finish, so we were definitely taking our time. But yeah, very fun game. I'm glad I was able to redeem myself from my third round game. And yeah, so it ended up 3-1. So what does that mean for the standings? So I was actually in an interesting position because there was, after this round, there was 2 of us that was 3-1, and then 2 people that were 3-0 before round 4, and they played each other to decide who got first and second. So there's a first and second place match, and I didn't get to play the other guy who was 3-1. But how they decided on who would get third in the overall, in the open, was actually based on whoever won the match between the 2 people that were 3-0. So it was actually pretty interesting, because even though that Sixton beat me up pretty badly, I had to root for him to win, because if he won, I would get third place. But if the other guy won, the guy who is also 3-1, would get third place. Now that I'm saying that back, that makes not a whole lot of sense, but hopefully that makes somebody out there understood that. So basically, if the opponent I lost to in the third round won the last game, I got third place. If he lost it, I would not get third place. I would get fourth place and place outside of the top 3. So what happened? My opponent, or the person I was rooting for, did end up losing. So I ended up getting 4th place in the open division. But there was still the Ohio championship, which was honestly the main thing I was going for at that tournament. And what happened was, there's some interesting rules and tournaments. Yeah, just some weird decisions by the TD. He was trying a self-pair thing in the other division, so it was the first time he had done it, so there was definitely some hiccups. But basically what happened was, at the tournament, he gave the Ohio Go Championship to the wrong person. So I actually did not win it at the tournament. He gave it to a guy who admittedly played very well at the tournament in the self-pair division, who went 7-0. He gave it to a 2Q who went 7-0, the Ohio Go Championship. But what I was most upset about was I never got the chance to play him because we were in different divisions. And later, because how Devin figured out, Devin was the main head TD, by the way. He's also an AGA member, or a board member, so Devin does a lot for the Go community. How he decided, where he messed up was in the rules. It stated that if there was 3 people in my division from Ohio, and somebody had a 75% win rate, they would become the Ohio Go champion. Like, there was just a bunch of minutia to decide the champion as opposed to a straight up this is a person who wins sort of thing. So he messed up because there was actually 3 people from Ohio, but he didn't realize that. So only later did he realize there was 3 people from Ohio and that I would be the real champion. But this person who's 7Q, or not 7Q, who went 7-0, he's 2Q. He actually goes to my club. So we decided, like Devin said, no, the AGA, I already told the AGA, you're the Ohio Go champion. There's nothing I can do that. I'm not going to change anything about it. But I want to be a fighting champion, right? I wanted to play the person who is 7-0. So that person goes to my same Go club. So we actually had a match 2 weeks after the tournament, or a week and a half after the tournament, to decide in our hearts who the real Ohio Go champion was. So this might be the last round from the Ohio Midwest Open, but I have a championship round, a round 5, that was held at my Go Club's weekly meeting. So that'll be the next game I look at, was to decide in my heart and this person who the real Ohio Go champion was. But so look forward to that. Can I beat the guy who went 7-0? You know, that's the big question. But if you have any questions about this game, please let me know. I read all the comments. And yeah, I will see everybody in the next video. Thanks for watching.